I need new music.
This is the JJO Discover New Music Podcast.
Madison, Solid Rock 94.1 JJO. Welcome to another episode of Discover New Music. Very excited for my guest this week, Johnny C, Big J, Johnny Christ. You know him from Avenged Sevenfold. Johnny, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. Excited because we get to talk new music and a bunch of other good stuff. I want to, as I dug into the world of Johnny and Avenged Sevenfold. And let's just kick it off with the most important stuff, the exciting news for everyone. Brand new Avenged Sevenfold, Life is But a Dream, out June 2nd. You guys really started working on this album 2018. There's no secret. The world shut down. Things got shelved. You guys had to do your own thing. You couldn't tour, so you didn't want to put it out. Did that delay in the production and the final touches, the recording, did that affect the album and the outcome and the final product that we have now with Life is But a Dream?
Short answer, no. But I mean, I'm sure it's nuanced in there. I think what we have here and what we're releasing is the vision. It's what we've always set out to do. We were going to have some interludes on this record that are scrapped for one instance, and that's not changing the album in a whole, as far as we're concerned. But yeah, I mean, all those delays. Yeah, they happened. The delays absolutely happened. We did start writing towards the end of 2018 on this record, between just being home with family, young families for the first time for a lot of us. We took a little bit more days off in between of writing. But then, vacation, stuff like that, kind of just celebrating our lives at that point. And then in about early 2020, we had gotten to a point where we were pretty much ready to go in and take our demos to the studio and really start recording them and relaying down and finalizing all these ideas. We were meeting with Joe Barisi, our producer on this record, and getting ready to schedule all these places. We might have even had a couple of rooms rented out and ready to go. And then the pandemic, the lockdown happened. It was March. That put us back a few months. No surprise there. But then when as soon as we were able to, in a safe setting, according to the studios, we went into pretty much just the five of us and our producer, and accomplished that as much as we could. It sounded great. We put a 72-piece orchestra together, and then we got to go back in another few months and finish the rest of the stuff that we have to track on top of it. So yes, there were delays along that way some of them were caused by COVID and the pandemic, but there were other ones too. Just family stuff gets in the way, It's just life, right? Yeah. And at the end of it, we finished this up at the end of 2022. And then it's just getting the rollout, getting the presses, getting everything ready for all the lovely people to be able to take this music in. And we couldn't be happier with what we did. And hopefully everybody else likes it at this point, I guess.
I don't think you have to worry too much about that at this point. Avenged Sevenfold could probably make an album of contemporary slam poetry, and it'd probably be pretty kick-ass. So I think...
Dude, maybe the next record, slam poetry. I don't know, man. That would be a challenge. We like to challenge ourselves.
Just put me in the credits. That's all I ask for. Just say it's dedicated to Brock and his weird slam poetry idea.
The U.S. Border Patrol has exciting and rewarding career opportunities with the nation's largest law enforcement organization. Earn great pay with outstanding federal benefits and up to $20,000 in recruitment incentives. Learn more online at cbp.gov/career/USBP.
I need new music.
This is the JJO Discover New Music Podcast.
Madison, Solid Rock 94.1 JJO. I'm Brock, and my guest for JJO Discover New Music is Johnny Christ of Avenged Sevenfold, and Life is But a Dream is the new release. You brought up that orchestra, 72-piece orchestra, which is huge, by the way. What's cool, in your opinion, to add that depth, that the sound, to an already big sound that Avenged Sevenfold had? What does that bring to it, in your opinion?
it offers a way to hear all those different notes. I mean, we can't, we got two guitars, so that's 12 strings, and a bass, that's another 4 strings, but, you maybe throw a piano on there, but then now you got horns, now you got other strings, now you got different sections and everyone doing different staccato and different stuff. So you could really bring the imagery of the song to life. You can play with such a spectrum of notes, right? We only got 12 notes, but if you play with them in a certain way, you're going to hit a register, a frequency different. You're going to hit the ear different. You're gonna hear different harmonies in between those all the way up. I think just musically, it's fun to geek out on the notes that you can mess with on orchestrations. And at the end of the day, it creates a motif.
We're excited to hear more from it. That's such a big undertaking to add that to an already big sound. So I'm sure it's just going to come across great for everyone. And whatever you get, the pressing or the CD or online, it's going to be great. Do you have a favorite instrument from the orchestra? One that really like, oh man, that's so cool. I love that one. I'm so glad we got it on there.
For this stuff, it's easy to say no, the violins at the end of Nobody, because that's what everyone's heard to this point, and I don't want to give away an instrument that you guys haven't heard yet, But yeah, there was this crazy tuba man. He was going nuts. No, I don't know.
I love it, man. Well, again, getting goosebumps, getting excited all over again with the new album coming out again, dropping on June 2nd. Life is but a dream. You brought up Nobody, which is what the first taste everyone got. And one of the tracks on there. Do you have maybe a favorite track on there, that a song that really sticks out to you and really gets you gravitate towards?
This album as a whole is more of a front to back album. I mean, we generally tend to do that, but this one maybe even more so than our past records. So it's hard to pick one out. I will say, I don't know. I don't want to give away too much yet, but I will say it will be the 10th track on the album. I'm quite proud of what my brothers were able to accomplish on that one. I can't wait for everyone to hear that one, because it's going to put a different perspective on some of the talent we have in this band. The songwriting from Sin on it and the vocal performance on that track. And everyone gets to it, and they would come back to this interview that might be living on YouTube at some point. It's that 10th track, and you'll know what I'm talking about.
Where does this album fall in the evolution of Avenged Sevenfold? I don't want to get all masterpiece theater on you, but for you and you guys, where do you think this one falls?
Well, if it's an evolutionary thing that follows like the origin of man and life, and you've seen that thing that it just becomes goes through Cro-Magnon to ape or whatever. I reverse those, you know what I mean? And you see that steady incline.
Yes.
We're just about at where we are today. We're about at where human evolution has happened today. No, but in all seriousness, I do feel like it's very much it is. Every album that we approach is what's going on in our lives right now, what we're inspired by at the moment. That's actually something that we picked up from years ago touring with Metallica. It was something that when you ask Lars Ulrich about a couple of things, he was like, every time we go in, it's a timepiece. It's what we're feeling at the time. And by happenstance is what's maintaining it being timeless, right? It's a weird juxtaposition, but it ends up being the case more often than not. Yeah. If you're writing for that time, then you have a way of remembering that time when you're thinking about it. It becomes maybe nostalgia, or maybe it's just like, maybe it is classic enough. Maybe you are one of those albums that's accomplished, like, oh, this stands test of time. There's nothing you can do to touch it. It could have come out today. It could have come out 10 years ago. It would still do the same thing. That's the goal, right? But you never know if that's going to be the case. All you can do is control what's in front of you and what's inspiring you at the moment. So at this moment, I think it's a perfect model of the way we are feeling as a band. We're rejuvenated. I just couldn't be happier. We're all in such a good state right now, mentally, physically, and working together. And that's what we're feeling right now.
I love it, man. Well, we cannot wait. Life is but a dream. Brand new Avenged Sevenfold.
I need new music.
This is the JJO Discover New Music Podcast.
All right. People know the important stuff now. I got rapid fire. Before we get to that, though, quick question, because outside of being a rock star, dad, all that good stuff, you have started and continued this ever-growing, successful podcast, Drinks with Johnny. First of all, how did this start? Second of all, if people want to find you, hit them up with that, because it's such a cool thing you do. And you're on season 4, season 5?
We just started season 5. We just started recording for season 5. That's why you got the beautiful setup right
gorgeous.
Here.
It's gorgeous.
I started recording literally this week, and then I got hit up like, oh, we're going to give you a press day to get through some stuff. I was like, perfect. I'm already set up for it. Let's go, So that's why the shameless plug going on back here with my whole setup. But, So, I mean, this thing started back in when we got off the road, probably end of 2019, I think. I was talking to Sin and the rest of the boys, and we realized that we have a YouTube channel that we can put out stuff and, we can have fun with. And we're like, oh, really? We can do that? But it's not just for our music videos? And we're like, oh, yeah, okay, cool. So each of us were kicking around a few ideas. And one of them for me was like, you know what? I've got a bar in my house I enjoy making cocktails at. There's a lot of friends of ours, at least locally, at least in the LA Orange County area. Why don't I just have a few of my buddies over? We'll make some cocktails and shoot the shit and have a good time. So Drinks is really just a catchy title. Drinks with Johnny, just a catchy title.
Yeah. Rolls off the tongue, well, easy to remember. That's right.
Yeah, exactly. So everyone can remember drinkswithjohnny.com is where you can find all this fun stuff. And then, but the new format we just started recording, I want to get to real quick to let everyone know. Over the time that I've been doing this, I've gotten to a more comfortable spot as a host. And so now I'm bringing on my director and my booking agent as co-hosts for me. We're just going to cover topics like this last week, this first episode of it. Me and Sam were at WrestleMania at SoFi in LA, had a brilliant weekend of wrestling. So we talked about that weekend of wrestling and then had another friend of mine from the show, Brad Williams, comedian who's also a wrestling fan, who was also there, come on for about 15, 20 minutes and give his perspective. He left and then we continued. It's this way. I want to keep it more conversational, but topical as well. We're going to cover topics from our personal lives. We're going to cover stuff from the fans listening at home if they want to tweet at us or comment in any of our social media. It's easy to find Drinks with Johnny. It's very, again, easy to roll off the tongue. You can find Drinks with Johnny really easily. Podcasts anywhere. The YouTube channel, social media. We've got a Discord for anyone who wants to, be a paid member, get ad-free stuff and a bunch of perks. But bottom line is, if you want to learn more about this or have a topic you want me or somebody else to discuss, you've got to follow, comment at us, and we're going through those topics and we're going to cover them this season and have a good time with it.
I love it, man. It's so cool. And I've caught a handful of podcasts and you do a great job. So everyone, again, if it doesn't work out in Avenged Sevenfold, Drinks with Johnny will hopefully be able to keep the lights on for you. I think you'll be all right.
I hope that's the goal, man. Fingers crossed. I'm gonna pull the Jay Leno move. I want my podcast to pay my bills so that I just can hoard the other Avenged Sevenfold money.
Exactly. All right. Before David loses it and you run behind even more.
Let's do it, man. We got time. He's good. He's good. Don't worry about it.
David's over there just hyperventilating. Damn it, guys. Come on.
I'm having fun. This is now you know why we were late.
It's easy. Let's do rapid fire real quick. So there's no wrong answers on this. It's either or. You just go with your gut and we're going to learn a little bit more about you. All right. Let's start with wrestling. I know you're a fan. Hulk Hogan or Randy Savage?
Randy Savage.
Ricky Steamboat or Ric Flair?
Ric Flair.
Bret Hart or Shawn Michaels?
Shawn Michaels.
Flintstone Push Pop or Choco Taco?
Flintstone Push Pop.
Soaked jeans or damp socks?
Soaked jeans.
Really? Okay.
I can't handle my feet being wet, man. That's I don't like it. Not like in socks. If I'm out in the ocean like that, like if I'm surfing, I expect my feet to be wet. Right. I'm not walking around, man. That's just gross. I don't like it.
Situational is what you're saying. The feet is situational.
And what's soaking the jeans? So we want to go into what's soaking the jeans here? Like
maybe after a few too many drinks and you
well, that's par for the course, ain't it?
Would you rather see Bigfoot or Loch Ness Monster?
Bigfoot.
Last one. Would you rather fight one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses?
One horse-sized duck.
That was quick. You're pretty confident in that one?
Oh, yeah. Stallion duck. Any of our diehard fans listening to this know exactly what a stallion duck is, and that's a big-ass duck. I just want to see it. It kicks my ass. But I want to see it.
You want to see it? All right. Fair enough. We got the answers. Johnny, you were a pleasure. Thank you so much for humoring me. Thank you so much for sharing new music, and we can't wait. Life is But a Dream, June 2nd, Avenged Sevenfold. Also, Drinks with Johnny all over the place. I really appreciate it, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you. Have a good one.
Listen, rate, share, subscribe. Discover new music now at WJJO.com, in the JJO app, or wherever you get your podcasts. Brock has a new interview every Thursday evening between 6 and 7. 94.1 JJO.